Hello, guys. Today I'm with Sabi from We Talk Ajax, an international fan channel for Ajax fans. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. There's been a lot of news around Erik Ten Hag, and he's doing very well with Ajax, which I'm sure you're pleased to see. And it's also admiring to see as well. Now, I've just got a few questions. I've got quite a few questions about Erik Ten Hag, and I'm also going to take some from the live chat if live chat want to get involved as well.
Great. Yeah, sure.
So first of all, what is your thoughts, your current thoughts on Erik Ten Hag?
Well, he's one of the greatest Ajax coaches in history of Ajax. We recently saw some news that there's only one coach who performed a bit better, and it was Louis van Gaal, which is a well-known coach for United as well. So yeah, he's doing an excellent job, and not only gaining points but also playing attractive football, and that's what counts for a club.
Definitely, and I admire Ajax a lot. I always have done. One of my dreams is to go to the Ajax stadium.
Okay.
I've not been yet. I've got another question here. How does Erik Ten Hag like to play? What is his formations and styles of players that he likes?
Okay. Well, Ten Hag often plays very attacking football. He always plays in a 4-3-3 formation. To be more specific, in a 4-2-3-1 formation.
Okay.
And he likes to pressure. He likes to play pressing football, pressing the defense of our opponent, especially when we don't have the ball. We always play high tempo. At least we want to play high tempo by moving the ball very fast. A lot of changing in positions. It's also a trademark of what Ten Hag has implemented. And we want to maintain possession. We want to have the ball. That's basically our main thing. And what we often see is we want to create a man-more situation in midfield, so we can outplay their midfield and create space and chances from there on.
Okay, thank you for that. It's interesting to know as our previous manager, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he played a sort of 4-2-3-1. It may not be as good as Erik Ten Hag's
Yeah.
style, but he definitely played a 4-2-3-1. Now, what players in Manchester United's current squad will suit Erik Ten Hag's system the best?
Yeah, that one is difficult to answer. I think I would have to change it the other way around. Which players
Okay.
would not suit? Which players of United would not suit the Ajax type of play? I can name some players. I mean, the first one is quite obvious. Hopefully, for some United fans, that's Maguire.
Yeah.
Maguire is a player who isn't that fast. And currently, in our Ajax system, we use two center backs who are extremely fast. And the reason why we utilize them, why we use them, is we play as high as possible on the field, on the pitch of the opponent, on the half of the opponent. And in order to not fall into their counterattacks, we need to have fast players, because we need to keep the space between the lines as close as possible. And with a type as Harry Maguire, it would be impossible. So that would be a player that I wouldn't play. I mean, Ten Hag wouldn't play him. Other type players is Wan-Bissaka, the right back.
Yeah.
I think Wan-Bissaka is a player who walks. He isn't involved in the build-up like from our side, Mazraoui does. He is he's always ready for the build-up. He always have that combination play with Anthony, with our right winger, or he cuts into the midfield, or even in the striker position. And that's something that Wan-Bissaka doesn't do
Yeah, definitely.
at all. And last but not least is I would definitely not play either McTominay or Fred, one of them, because in the three-man midfield which United plays, those two players often play. While at Ajax, we always have one player who is really defensively minded, and that's Alvarez, for example. But we always have a footballing player next to him who can help in building up the play. And from what I see, these two players are more of breakers
Yeah.
who needs to stop the opponent of playing football instead of building up the game itself. So I would not play with both of them.
Okay, because we're looking for these reports that we are looking for a holding midfielder, and I think it's quite clear that we do need a holding
Yeah,
midfielder. And
yeah.
some of the reports are like Declan Rice. Do you think he would do well in the system?
Oh yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So Kean has also another lad called Kean has also got a question. What is Ten Hag's tactical style, and what does he want from his team?
Well, his style is pressuring. He wants to pressure the opponent. We play very high, so our backs and our central defenders play very high, and our defense starts basically by our attackers. Haller, Anthony, Tadic, they always pressure their defense because we want to conquer the ball at their side. In order to create chances, we could have seen that in the game against Benfica, in the last Champions League game. We conquered the ball at their side and we create a chance, and boom, Tadic scored that goal. That's basically what he wants. He wants to pressure and not sit back, not rely on the defense, but we need to push forward, keep the lines closed. Basically, I'm sorry to say, but a bit as how City plays. They play really pressuring football. I mean, we all saw the game, unfortunately, against United last weekend. They try to push. They try to make sure that United makes mistakes, and then try to create a chance from there. And that's what Ten Hag really wants to achieve.
Definitely, yeah. Create a lot of chances as well. Like you
Exactly.
say, does he like ball play? Does Erik Ten Hag like ball playing defenders and sweeper keepers?
Yeah. Definitely, that's one of the characteristics of Ten Hag. We have two central defenders, being Timber and Lisandro Martinez. Those are real ballers. They know how to defend, but they also know how to really play football. They're no breakers. I mean, they know how to defend, but they also know how to build up, and that makes it really difficult for the opponent, for their attackers, to get the ball from them. And our right back and left back, Blind and Mazraoui, are also real ballers. So basically, we have four ballers at the back, and that's really great for a build-up play. And as a keeper, we have at this moment Onana, but we had Pasveer, and a footballing keeper is definitely a plus for Ten Hag. We need a keeper who is good as a lines keeper, but also a keeper who can build up as well with cross passes, etc. And that's what we currently have at this moment.
Definitely. Now, Dia says, what type of manager is Erik Ten Hag? Is he ruthless? Does he drop players based on poor form?
Well, Ten Hag, how you pronounce it in England, is he's not ruthless, to be honest.
I apologize if I am pronouncing it wrong.
No. I think it's funny because it's something that really comes from English fans. It's Ten Hag. It's Ten Hag, but Ten Hag is, sounds funny as well.
Yeah.
No, basically, what we often see is that he doesn't bench players who are in poor form. I mean, we have an example with Daley Blind, who's currently out of form for weeks now, but still he plays him, even though we have an excellent replacement in Nico Tagliafico, who's an Argentinian international, but he still doesn't play him and keeps confidence in Blind, which is worrisome for certain fans of Ajax. But what we see is he sticks to his starting 11 all the time.
So I'll give you an example for like Manchester United. Obviously, Marcus Rashford, a player who is being talked about an awful lot at the moment, especially over the past few days. He's been off form for quite a lot of the season. Would Erik Ten Hag have dropped him, in your opinion, by now? Or do you think he would have stuck with him and tried to work it out?
Well, what we have seen for now is he gives chances to every player for a long period. As long as he trusts the player, like he does in this example with Blind, he keeps on playing him. It also had to do with does he trust the players on the bench? I mean, we also you guys have a lot of attacking-minded players on the bench. I mean, would he bench Rashford? At first, I don't think so. But it depends how long this stays, that he's out of form? Is it for a month? Okay, then in my view he will keep playing him, because Ten Hag not only looks at the player but also how the player fits in his system. And if he doesn't play well but he still fits in his system the way we want to play, he will always play.
Okay, that's very interesting to know. Actually, I've got a question here. Does Erik Ten Hag let player power get the better of him? And I will give an example. Last season, during the Champions League run in the group stage, just before Manchester United played RB Leipzig, Paul Pogba came out via his agent and said that he wanted to leave, and that is obviously quite a lot of player power there, and he couldn't play the game, the game which was in the corresponding 24 hours. In a situation like that, how do you think Erik Ten Hag would deal with something like that?
Well, we have the same example with Ajax. I mean, you just recently had the news that Gravenberch is interested in going to Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich is linked to him and they are interested in him. Knowing this, Ten Hag would always play him. I mean, he was benched lately, but that was mainly because he was sick due to COVID, and when he came back, he benched him because Klaassen played a decent game and Berghuis played a decent game on his position. But yeah, one game later, he managed to play again in the starting 11. Nonetheless, whether there are any links with being linked to any transfer to another club, he always looks at the footballing part and not looking at the other parts besides football. So if he would be fit, he would always play.
Definitely. Ajax says big up to my boy Sabi. I'm not sure whether you know him, but make sure you drop a subscription if you're new here. United have been looking for a midfielder for years. Yeah, I do agree. CR7 fan says yes, I do agree that McTominay wouldn't fit Ten Hag's team. McTominay isn't good enough defensively to sit like an Alvarez, and he isn't good enough on the ball like Gravenberch. Do you agree with that? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. I mean, Gravenberch can be considered a type like Pogba. He shouldn't play him in a more attacking role, but he should use Pogba more as a controlling midfielder who can build up the play and being a box-to-box midfielder. That would actually suit Pogba. And then a type of player as Fred could play next to him, and then the Bruno Silva, how you call him, Bruno Fernandes, can then play in the 10 position. I think that would suit great for United at this moment.
Kian says, is Edison Alvarez a good midfielder? Because what I've seen of him, he looks very good.
Yeah, he improved a lot. He's a great midfielder. He's a defensive midfielder. If you would have asked me this 1.5 years ago, I would pick a bit different, because he improved a lot. Defensive wise, he's great, but he improved a lot in his ball passing upwards, because he always, when he had the ball, he used to pass it to the backwards, and in that way he would slow the play of Ajax. But now he got used to the gameplay of Ajax, the tempo of Ajax. So when he gets the ball, he often passes the ball forwards, and that's a good thing. And yeah, he's a player which is vital to us. He is a player who completes the central defense, because those three, Timber, Alvarez, and Lisandro Martinez, those are the backbone of our team. They break anything from the attack of the opponent. So yeah, he's vital to us.
That's great to know, because hopefully Manchester United buy a similar player, or even him. Would Bruno Fernandes suit Ten Hag's style of play?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he's a typical number 10 who likes to have the ball, who creates chances for others, who has combination, who starts combinations with his fellow teammates. He has a nice shot, so yeah, he would definitely suit the gameplay of Ten Hag, especially in the number 10 position.
That's great to know. Yeah. We're getting into a few questions which I would love to know the answer to as well. Would Ten Hag prefer Telus or Shaw as a left back?
Yeah, it depends. It depends. I mean, I'm not really into those two players as knowing them that well. But the player that has the best build up and not only running and overlapping the left winger, but also has input in the build up, that will be the player that Ten Hag suits. So I don't know whether that will be Shaw or Telus, but the one that really is involved in in the gameplay and also trying to strengthen the midfield or cut inside and go to the penalty area instead of only overlapping on the left side. That would be the player that Ten Hag would prefer.
That's good to know. This is the question which I'm sure is on every Manchester United fan's mind. What is your thoughts on Donny van de Beek, and do you think Donny van de Beek would definitely play under Erik Ten Hag?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, we are all we as Ajax fans were all saddened with the way Donny was treated at the Manchester United. The way he was treated was ridiculous. I mean, United bought him for around 40 million, but puts him on the bench, puts him on the stand, not give him any playing time. I think he would suit definitely in position next to Fred, for example. We've seen Donny playing at Everton at this moment, playing as a pivot next to a defensive midfielder who is mainly defensively orientated, and he likes to defend as well, but also wants to be involved in the build-up, be involved with the attack. You see him often going to the penalty area of the opponent, creating chances for the opponent, try to disturb the attack of the opponent. And I think that would be excellent if he would have done that. If he would have gotten the chance to do that as well at United, because maybe he played one bad game and then got benched. And I've seen more bad games from Fred or McTominay, and they still play. So that's really sad to see.
Definitely. Now I've got a question here. What types of signings will Erik Ten Hag look to make? Because Man United are we're currently being linked to a striker, a holding midfielder. We've been linked to a right back and a centre back too. What types of signings would he like to make?
Well, I think he would focus first on the defense because of the build up. And in my view, he would need somebody next to Varane. So Maguire would be benched or sold, and he would need to have a player who can build up and can defend. I mean, United has the resources, so they would definitely find a type of player that would suit these characteristics. I think you already have a lot of attacking players, so I wouldn't really focus on a specific winger. I mean, you got Sancho who can play. Perhaps you need a new striker because I think our Uruguayan striker
Cavani,
will leave at the end of the summer. I don't know about Ronaldo because there are rumors that he might leave or not. But maybe you could get a striker because Greenwood is not available as well.
No, yeah.
And Rashford could play as well. So I think from perspective attacking wise, I don't think there's no issue. But you definitely need a holding midfielder. If it's not Donny, you need a midfielder who can play football, who has the technical baggage to create space for himself, and to help in the build up and in the attack. And that's something that Pogba could do, but maybe he would leave as well at the end of the at the start of the summer. So I would focus on a holding midfielder and perhaps a right back because Wan-Bissaka is not a player that is United material.
Not at all. How would he treat academy players like Elanga, Shola Shoretire, and Zidane Iqbal, and even James Garner?
Yeah, I mean, Ten Hag is known that he gives chances to young talents, especially from the academy. We haven't seen that a lot this season, but with Timber last season, he did include him in the first squad. Gravenberg had his debut under Ten Hag, so he does give chances to young talents, but they are the ones who needs to seize it. And so how would he treat them? I think he would treat them as a United player, maybe even bring them into the first squad. But they have to seize their chances, and then Ten Hag will play them. I mean, we have
Yeah.
a lot of young players in our squad at this moment, so it shouldn't be a problem at all for him.
No, yeah, I agree. I've got a question here. How does Eric Ten Hag deal with difficult situations? For example, Manchester United just losing at 4-1 to Manchester City, and the dressing room. I'm not saying there's a divide there, but it will be difficult in the dressing room at that point of losing 5-0 to Liverpool. That's difficult, and even the highs and just the lows as well. How would Erik Ten Hag deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, he's a straightforward man. Especially when he's giving interviews after a game, he can be very hard, but he also looks on what went good, and he has a strong character. I mean, he knows what he's saying, and that guy really breathes football. He has football is on his mind all of the time. When a game is played, you would say whether he won or lose, you would say he would go home and get some sleep, but no, he always gets home, gets a glass of wine, and rewatches the whole game that he recently, like an hour, 2 hours before, played. He wants to know all the ins and outs to see what can he improve and what went already good, because he's always thinking and improving the team always, and the only thing he needs is time. That's basically, if he was at United, time is the most important thing that he needs in order to implement his philosophy within the team. Yeah.
Now, we've briefly spoken about sweeper keepers. There's a lot of debate currently about the Manchester United keeper, and David De Gea has been great this season. However, I think Dean Henderson will be a better fit long term. What keeper do you think Erik Ten Hag would like and would play at Manchester United, David De Gea or Dean Henderson?
It depends, because I haven't seen a lot of Henderson. Ten Hag always looks at quality. I mean, if you are good enough, you're old enough. He doesn't look at age. I mean, we have two keepers who are 38 or 39 years old at this moment, and they had playing time at Ajax as a goalkeeper. Most important thing for a goalkeeper, next to quality-wise being a good lineskeeper, is he also seeks goalkeepers who can play football, who knows how to have good cross passes, for example, who knows how to build up when they're under pressure, because often defenders are under pressure, so they play the ball back to the goalkeeper. And what Ten Hag really wants to see is the goalkeeper building up the play, giving cross passes to the striker or to the midfield, and not solely kicking the ball. So he wants a building up goalkeeper, and I don't know. I know De Gea is a really good lineskeeper.
Yeah,
Henderson is probably good as well, but I don't know football wise who is the better one of both.
Henderson has definitely got more strengths football wise and sort of sweeper keeper wise and things like that. And
I think so. Yeah, I think so, because there were rumors that Henderson, that Ajax was interested in Henderson.
I've seen that
in the past. So there is a reason for that, because we like keepers who play good with their feet, and just like Edison does at City, that's the type of goalkeeper Ten Hag likes.
Definitely, and we were just speaking about Erik Ten Hag being like obsessed with football, similar to Pep Guardiola and Sir Alex Ferguson of the likes, and it's great to know that a manager's like that. However, what are his biggest strengths, and how can he play? What are his biggest weaknesses, and how can he use that to play to his strengths, if that makes sense?
Well, in my view, Ten Hag has two weaknesses. The first one is related to rotation. He always sticks to his starting 11, no matter how the players play, no matter whether they are out of form. He continuously playing those starting 11, meaning the bench players don't play a lot, and once they need to play, they don't have any match fitness, so they don't play well all the certain times. and that creates issues. So I think that's one of the weaknesses. He needs to rotate a lot more, especially when you're at United.
Yeah.
You need to rotate more because you have a bigger squad. You're playing for more than two cups. You have the league title, you have the Premier League, you have the League Cup, the FA
Yeah.
Cup, the Champions League, and so on. So he needs to learn to rotate more, to learn to trust other players as well, because we have great bench players as well, but he doesn't use them a lot.
No, yeah, I completely agree. Now,
So,
this is a very interesting question, and it may be quite a long question. How does Erik Ten Hag deal with rumors, and has there ever been a targeted media campaign against him? For example, from a bitter journalist or someone who's just constantly criticizing him at every turn. We've seen this a few times with Manchester United and with certain people. They've been criticised by some fans at every turn, and it's not
yeah.
turned out well for the club and for other fans.
Well, Ten Hag is a straightforward man, and he's really down to earth when dealing with such rumors, especially rumors when they talk about United, or last season with Tottenham when they were interested in him as well. And he's always very clear. He during interviews, he always says that there is no contact at all with other clubs, and that he's only focusing on Ajax. Period. And then he stops the discussion. He doesn't want to continue. He always says, no, there's no contact. And if there's no contact, there's no reason to talk about those clubs. I'm only focused on improving Ajax. So I'm here. And as long as there's nothing else, I will continue to be here.
Yeah,
I
like
and, with regards to the target media campaign, I mean, we all know Ajax. Ajax is the biggest club in the Netherlands. So
yeah,
reporters, media are always trying to unsettle Ajax or Ten Hag. Because it sells newspapers.
yeah,
I mean, the majority of all the fans in the Netherlands are for Ajax. But Ten Hag, knowing he knows how to handle in this situation. He is, as I said, down to earth, straightforward. He is being targeted many times by one specific individual, called him Valentijn Driesen. He's from a little newspaper, as Louis van Gaal mentioned in the past. It's a small newspaper, according to them, and they try to bully him. And we all saw some negative news recently on Ajax with regards to Overmars, with regards to there was some COVID situation in Portugal where Ajax did not put those players in quarantine, but dropped them in a private jet flying back to Amsterdam. So there were a lot of negative news from this specific news medium and this specific person. But Ten Hag is down to earth. He doesn't care about that. He's a very good spokesman. He's clear, straightforward, a real gentleman. So he never starts a fight. So there's nothing negative to be said about him.
that's great to hear. That is very great to hear. You were mentioning his subs, and he doesn't use his subs much. However, late substitutions is something we've struggled with under sometimes Ralph Rangnick, but a lot of the time Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. How is Erik Ten Hag's in-game management?
Well, if you look at him at the sideline, you see him constantly coaching players, like targeting some players in the team, moving forward, advising him to moving forward or defend, etc. So you see him often talking to his players on the sideline. He's a type of coach which you don't see a lot on the bench. So he is constantly standing and thinking out loud, screaming when needed, but you don't see him making tactical changes during the game, and that's something that is worrisome as well, to be honest, because he lacks a plan B, so to say. And the reason behind it is 95% of all the games, plan A works out. We are, I mean, especially this season, in a lot of games, it works out. We play great footballs. You can see that in Champions League, etc. But there are occasional games where we play against really defensive opponents, like really parking the bus, and which makes it really hard to find space or to create chances. And in that moment, Ten Hag lacks a plan B to break.
I'm not sure whether that's my connection or Southeast connection. I do apologise if it's crashed. I do apologise. Whilst it's just crashed, I don't know whether it's crashed on. Can someone comment and let me know if it's fully crashed? Can you hear me? Hold on, it's him. I will drop him a message now. Just give me a second. I've been having trouble with my Wi-Fi today as well. Obviously, I think. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I apologise to people. Let me just send him a quick message. Hold on. I do apologise. Your connection. He's gone off. Your connection has crashed. Are you able to join back when you can, please? Well, I won't end the interview there. I will not end it there. I just want to let people know, whilst he's gone, I'll let people know that I will be live at 7:30 tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. tomorrow, and on Sunday I'll be live at like 1:30 p.m. or something like that. Great interview. Keane is a fraud. Keane is not a fraud. Hold on, he's back. It says device is not connected currently. There we go. It's just loading. I do apologise, guys. I do apologise for that. I don't know if that was your connection or my connection.
I don't know. I just got kicked out. So
okay, I think my connection's been bad today as well. So I do apologise if that was my connection. We'll go on to the next question. What is Eric's relationship with the players like? You see, like for example, with Sir Alex Ferguson, he knew when to put his arm around the player and treat the player like his sort of friend, and he knew when to sort of be tough with a player.
Yeah, no, I mean the relationship is good from what we could see on the pitch and on the training. He talks a lot with his players, and he's trying to maintain a good process, a good group process. So he's trying to involve all the players within the squad. Yeah, you could see him making a lot of jokes between him and the players.
Yeah.
Even playing along during exhibition matches or during training. So he is fit as well. But yeah, of course, and of course, there are players who are not happy because they don't have a lot of playing times. But the fun thing is that you don't see that. You don't see that on the pitch. You don't see them arguing. So and that's people management. What Ten Hag has. He knows how to deal with the team, and communicating is something that he does really well.
Thank you for answering that. Just on to one of the last questions. How highly regarded and good of a manager do you think Erik Ten Hag can become when all said and done? Like, let's say in another 30 years, just for example.
No, he can do very well. He can do very well. But as I said previously, this is subject to one important thing. He needs time.
Yeah,
time is most important thing because he needs time to implement his philosophy with the team, and it's not an easy philosophy that he has. There are a lot of things that he wants to make. He wants to make like an automatic pilot. He wants to make sure that everything is being done automatically, and it takes time. I mean, at Ajax, when he started, it took him more than 6 months to make it an oiling machine, and that was with Ajax. If you compare with United in terms of how big the club is, it can. He would need 6 months, maybe less, but he would need time. So you need to have patience with him. That's the only thing. Definitely. You need to have patience. Yeah.
Do you think that Erik Ten Hag will come to United, or are you still having faith that he'll stay at Ajax?
To be honest, if you would ask me this question a few months ago, like during the winter break, I would say he would probably stay. But at this moment, I'm sad to say, but my feeling says that he will leave us. I mean, I think he seeks a new adventure, especially if he wins the league in the Netherlands. He would probably think of a new adventure. We're talking about United, which is a traditionally a big club, so such chances will not occur a lot. Next to that, yeah, I mean, he had an excellent working relationship with Overmars, and now Overmars left. It's going to be difficult for him to stay. I mean, Overmars was the one who bought him, and now he left, and yeah, it will be difficult. And next to that, we still don't know who the new director of football will be at Ajax. So it might be possible that he wouldn't be happy with the new director of football and seeks a new adventure. And I think that's the thing that will happen.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. And you say you will be upset to leave. Just on the last note, will you be thankful and sort of, or will you sort of be a little bit sort of kind of upset that he's left?
No, I mean, I would be upset. I mean, Ten Hag did such great things for Ajax, and it's gonna be difficult to find a new coach that can improve this team further. And I don't see that happening in a short notice. So if Ten Hag would leave, it would mean that the next season would be a season that it's going to be difficult for us. So yeah, I would be sad if he would leave, but at the end, there will always be a moment where a coach will leave, where players leave. I mean, we see players at Ajax leaving every season. We need to build up our team every season because our best players leave. So the same will apply for Ten Hag.
Okay, I just want to thank you, Sappy, for coming on, and also go and check out. Is it We Talk Ajax on YouTube?
Yeah, it's a We Talk Ajax. It's a YouTube channel for Ajax for the fans internationally by the fans. We have a lot of people who are working behind the scenes. Juan, who is the host of We Talk Ajax. We have 3 panels: Papimento, Ajax, and me, and the editors who are doing a terrific job. And the main thing is that we discuss the games of Ajax and share our opinion, having discussions with other fans, discussing transfers, news, etc. So yeah, please subscribe and follow us on Twitter and do your thing.
Definitely. Thank you again for coming on. I will end the stream there, guys. Just to let you know, we'll be live 7:30 p.m. UK time tomorrow night with a watch along. But I will see you later. Have a good evening and take